Hello and welcome to the Supercast. I'm your host, Superintendent Anthony Godfrey. They are considered pioneers in their sport, making history throughout the state of Utah. Girls high school wrestling became a sanctioned sport for the first time this year, and at Copper Hills High School, it was an exciting season filled with success. On this episode of the Supercast, we stop by the wrestling room at Copper Hills High, where the girls wrestling team is still talking about their first ever state tournament. Several of the girls walked away with state championships, and the team placed second overall. They are girls in a league of their own, literally making history during Women's History Month.
Remember, as we're running those laces, we want to keep driving up towards their spine on that angle. Really digging those toes in.
You're going to take the leg, cross it over the top leg, and keep rolling that way.
We're here at Copper Hills High School with the girls wrestling team coaches. I'm going to let them introduce ourselves, and we're going to talk about this sport that was just sanctioned this year by UHSAA.
Hi, my name is Coach Hatch. I've been coaching here at Copper Hills for 12 years. This is my first year with the girls, as expected, because it's the first year they've been sanctioned. But it's been a lot of fun and a great learning experience.
Hi, I'm Sherelle Fowers. I'm the assistant coach here at the girls wrestling team, and I've coached here other sports a couple years back, but my daughter wrestles, so I joined this team.
Hey, and I'm Scott Pace, head coach here at Copper Hills High School. Excited to be here and to share our excitement for the sport and with our girl wrestlers.
Sherelle, tell me, what other sports do you coach?
I coached basketball a couple years back, but I stopped doing that because I was a mom first, and now my kids have all grown more, and I've got my last two in the high school here, so I decided to help with the wrestling team since my daughter decided to wrestle.
And how does it feel to coach your daughter in wrestling the first year that it's sanctioned?
Oh, it's an amazing experience. These girls are amazing, and to have my girl on the team, it's been fun. I mean, she's watched her brothers. She's had 4 older brothers that have wrestled here at Copper Hills, and to watch them, she kind of came in with a little bit of an advantage, you know, watching her brothers wrestle.
That's exciting. What were some of the hesitations that you had going into it, and how do you feel about those now?
Well, you know, in the past it's been a real male-dominant sport, right? And
sure.
Watching these girls start to go up the lines with, you know, in the state of Utah, with some of these girls that have been amazing throughout the state. And she's watched them do it, you know, because we've gone to all these tournaments and watched these girls wrestle, and she's like, Mom, I just want to try it. And I said, okay, let's try it and see where it goes. And she actually is pretty good at it, so we thought, okay, why not, you know? But it's been like, it's a hard sport to be against boys with, and now that it's sanctioned for girls, it's opened it up for these girls that wouldn't want to wrestle boys.
I bet her older brothers are big fans.
Very much so. Very much so. They love her, and they support her 100%.
What would you say to parents who are thinking about encouraging their daughters to be part of this, or whose daughters have asked to be part of it?
Just come try a practice, right? Like, let them roll around on the mat, see how they like it, see if it's something that they'd be interested in. It's been really interesting to watch the different kind of girls that are coming out. Like they talked earlier about, they come from all walks of life, different sports, dancers and everything. I would encourage any girl that wants to even try it, just to come, try it, roll around on the mat. We're welcome. They're welcome at Copper Hills at any time. We'll take anybody just to show them. We want to build the sport statewide.
Because up until this year, my oldest daughter, who's a senior on the team, she wrestled on the boys' team, and was competitive. Did a really good job wrestling on the boys' team. But with that being sanctioned and everything else, it gave them a whole new opportunity to share their love for a sport with a bunch of girls that weren't used to it yet. So it's been fun.
Let's start running firemen's. So hit that lead leg, right? Heavy hand as you're coming in on that, and let's start running 4 or 5 firemen's in a row, and then switch back over. Go ahead, Brooke.
Can we do the underhook firemen's too?
Absolutely. And I don't care if we're dumping it or launching it, but I want to go fireman after fireman after fireman, and we'll come around and help you guys out as we're running through those.
Okay.
Will you describe a fireman now as you've told them to do that?
Yes.
They run in and grab them.
So traditionally, if you think about a fireman and there's a fire, right, that poor fireman has to put your limpless body over his back and carry down a couple flights of stairs to save you from that burning building. And so essentially that's what it is you get a good tie-up, and we shoot the opposite hand underneath, grab those legs, pull down on the other side just like you're carrying them, but as opposed to picking them up and running around, you throw them to their back. The reason we're working this focused on today is girls actually in college and in the Olympics wrestle what's called freestyle, a slightly different version of what's wrestled in high school, which is called folk style. And so we are actually now going into our freestyle season. There are a handful of girls here that have had some opportunities and offers from colleges to go wrestle. And so as we're going into freestyle season, we want to focus on moves like this. In folk style, if you hit this move, it's worth 2 points. If we do this in freestyle, because you take them from their feet to their back, it's worth 4 points.
And then dumper. Fall to your hip. There. I got it covered. Yeah, no, it's fine. Here.
And right, we've captured the arm here on this other side. We always want to make sure we keep that arm and never let that go.
Fireman's my least favorite move.
And why is fireman's your least favorite?
Because I don't love firemen, love them, but I don't like putting people over my shoulder.
Okay, so yeah, I could see that at first it's a little uncomfortable, but then I don't even know how I would start to do that. That's impressive that you guys can even do that. Tell me your name.
Oh, I'm TT.
And you are?
Kara.
How have you enjoyed wrestling? Did you just start, or how long have you been wrestling?
This is my first year.
Yeah.
So it's all new to me. I think it's pretty fun. It's amazing.
This is my first year too. I joined because I was like, okay, I need to do a high school sport. Can't get into high school not doing anything. And I love it so much. Like, it's just phenomenal. It's been such a fun year.
It's fun to be involved, and you've got to find something to connect with school. I've heard that there's a real family feel, and that happened really fast. Tell me about that.
I talk a lot. I love to talk, but I don't get like sister close with people. But when I met these girls, the first day I walked in, our coach's youngest daughter was like, "Mom," and she starts whispering to Mrs. Pace, and then Mrs. Pace comes over. She's like, "Your hair looks like one of our Barbies." And at that moment, I was like, "This is family." Like, I love these girls so much. They're all funny. They're all protective. You know, they all make good choices. They're great girls.
That's awesome. Have you guys had good support from the school, from the student body?
Oh yeah. I think most everybody knows who we are.
It is Women's History Month, and you ladies have made history. How does that feel?
Every day I walk into the high school, well, every other day, and I look at the trophy case, and I'm picking out which trophy case should be ours. Because this is our first year, and we've done so much. Like, it's the practices, it's the new varsity jackets that are going to be passed down for forever and ever. It's going to tournaments and walking out first place. It's standing up to other people who are like, "Oh, girls wrestling is weird," and it's a lot of pressure on our shoulders. Yeah. And I think we've made too much history, too much for us to handle. So we need more girls to come so they can also carry the weight.
You are blazing a trail. There's no doubt about it.
Perfect. If we have one more circle on that angle is going to be there. And with that hand that we're pulling on, pull that, right? Create that angle.
Attack half the body.
Attack half the body. Attack the weak side. Let's go high C, and then let's leave it in that low leg lace. And if you want to walk them through what we're doing out here, and we'll get after it. That's what's unique and different about it is in folk style, there's a lot of stalling. You're just staying in that position. Nothing's happening. There's no scoring. It kind of comes a little bit slower.
Yeah, I've observed that.
Whereas in freestyle, there's a lot more action. It's a lot more consistent. And that's why we only wrestle folk style in the United States.
Yeah.
Everything in the Olympics is Greco or freestyle.
Okay.
And freestyle really benefits those that are being aggressive. And that's what's made Copper Hills actually really unique this year is all of our girls learned from the moment they walked in the door is we are going to attack. And everything that we are going to do is going to be through the whole idea of attacking. You look at some of their wrestling gear, we put attack on everything. Because we're going to be aggressive, we're going to dictate the match, and we want our opponent responding to us. Someone's got to react to someone. Who's reacting to who? And we want to make sure that we're dictating that action.
So with certain athletes, some muscle groups may be better developed than others, and with wrestling, you pretty much have to have it all working for you, don't you?
Absolutely, and I can attest to that. My daughter's on the team, and she's a competitive volleyball player, and she also does track. And after about the first week of wrestling, she's like, "Dad, I have muscles I didn't even know I had."
So among many other good reasons for being a part of the wrestling program, it prepares you well, conditioning and toughness and all of that for any other competition you might be involved in.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, and this is going to sound funny, but girls are more willing to learn. I think boys come in with, hey, we already know what we're doing type thing, and these girls have been like sponges. I mean, you teach them or show them things, and they literally just soak it right up. They've actually been easier to teach and coach than boys.
Yeah,
Now,
they don't have that pride side, right?
There's a mental difference, right? When we're guys, you teach a move, yeah, coach, I know what I'm doing. You go over to the corner and try to just fake it. Whereas girls ask questions that are different. Well, why? What angle? And at first, when we first started coaching girls years ago, it was are they stalling? Why are you asking all these questions? Make jokes, And then I started realizing they really want to know the exact points to what really makes that move unique.
It's a genuine desire to know not just what to do, but why am I doing it and how can I do it better?
Exactly.
Stay with us. When we come back, more with the team and how wrestling is having a positive impact outside of the sport for these successful athletes.
If you're ready to start your child on the path to personalized learning, we're ready to help. The Jordan Virtual Learning Academy is coming to Jordan School District in the 2021-22 school year. 3 new schools will be opening as part of the academy: Rocky Peak Virtual Elementary School, Kelsey Peak Virtual Middle School, and Kings Peak High School. Each school will have their own principal and teachers, and each will give students a choice in their own learning. The schools will offer synchronous learning, which is teachers providing real-time, live online instruction, and asynchronous learning, where teachers provide videotaped instruction for learning on a student's schedule. To register your student in the Jordan Virtual Learning Academy, visit connect.jordandistrict.org.
I'm Brooklyn Pace.
I'm Emma Williams.
I'm Anya Hatch.
I'm Meridian Grand Prix.
I'm Bradley Graham.
TT and Soha.
I'm Kara Noyce.
Kimberlyn Fowers.
I'm Alyssa Pace.
I'm so impressed with what I've seen, and I just think it's awesome. And maybe people picture girls wrestling and they wonder what that's like. What I can tell you is it's a lot of toughness and a lot of learning and, a lot of hard work. And you guys are doing great. Let me ask you this right off. Have you had some injuries this year? Tell me about some of the injuries you've had right here.
So I started off the season kind of with an injured hip, and just throughout it kind of got worse. And then there was this one move that Brooklyn really, really likes, and it messed up my shoulder. So that was fun.
Doing all right though?
Yeah, better now.
Okay, that's good. Tell me about competing in state. The first year that girls wrestling was sanctioned at the high school level. I know this isn't the first year wrestling for all of you, but tell me how that felt, being part of that.
It felt pretty weird going from knowing every single girl wrestler in the entire state of Utah to showing up to state and just seeing so many new girls and just so many girls I'd never seen before. It was just as big as the boys, and it was awesome. I was so excited to be there.
So were you surprised to see so many from around the state participating?
It was a lot different than it had been in the other years, so it was different, but I wasn't surprised. I love wrestling so much, so why wouldn't every other girl love it so much?
How many years have you been wrestling?
6, I think. I don't know, a long time. 6.
You all seem to be having a great time at this. Tell me what you love most about wrestling.
Honestly, it's the confidence boost. I walked in here and I thought I was pretty confident, and then you start doing the practices and learning new things, and you're like, oh, this is really hard, but then you get the hang of it, and you start getting in the mentality, I can do hard things, and it just completely changes how you see yourself, I guess.
I really liked making friends this season. I talk a lot, and so when we got to go meet other teams, I was like, okay, we'll have 2 options. Be rude or go make friends. And I made a lot of friends this season. I know probably a girl on every team, and I think that's a really good thing. That we're all a big family, and we're all cousins. Even though we're all different teams and we all our competition, but we're all playing for the same goal.
Before there wasn't as many girl wrestlers until this year, and so they would put little side tournaments of 3 or 4 girls wrestling, and so this year it's really fun to see lots more girls joining the sport, and so there's just more people to wrestle, and so it's really fun.
Do you think it will continue to grow?
Yeah, for sure. I think this year was a good jump start, and it was a little tricky with COVID and just some parents were like, oh, I don't know, like what like girls wrestling, like what's that? But now that it's kind of a thing, I think next year everyone will be like, oh yeah, girls wrestling is a thing, like that's awesome, like I want my girls to be a part of that. So I think it will just keep jumping and growing as it goes on.
Can I ask you if that's a wrestling black eye?
It is happened last weekend at my tournament. So
that looks like it was a little bit gruesome. Tell me what happened at your tournament.
Yeah, so I went up to Logan for a showcase qualifiers tournament, and I got the takedown, and it was freestyle, so I was working for the gut. The girl tried to defend it and hit her head up super hard and right into my eyebrow, and it like instantly blew up. I won the match though, so.
I was going to say, you kind of had an Incredible Hulk thing happen after that, right. And she got to the mat pretty quickly, I'll bet.
She did get a few more points than I wanted to. I was a little flustered, but I did end up winning Tector, like 16-6. So.
Watching the practice, that does not surprise me. Tell me, what do you love about wrestling?
The competition and the confidence boost I got. It really helps with softball and wrestling.
Yeah, so you play softball as well?
Yeah.
What's harder?
Wrestling.
What else are you involved in?
So my last 2 years of high school, I'm a senior this year. My last 2 years I was on Dance Co. So I did studio dance. I was on Dance Co by 2 years, and then this year I just quit dance. And I was like, well, I got to do something else. So then on the side I do dance, and then wrestling's my main thing.
And this is kind of improvised, full contact dancing, right? And what other sports have you guys played?
I do track and volleyball.
And what's tougher?
Wrestling.
Wrestling's the toughest. Yeah. Does wrestling prepare you for track and volleyball?
Yes, it really does. Yeah.
Okay. How about you?
Like Emma, I grew up dancing. I've danced for 13 years. Is it 13? 13 years. And I'm actually still doing it at the same time I was doing wrestling, so I would miss one practice a week just to go dance. And then, yeah.
What kind of dance do you study?
I do everything. Ballet, jazz, hip-hop, contemporary, tap, anything you can think of.
Does your brain ever switch to the wrong sport and you do a takedown instead of a pas de deux, and now suddenly you're in real trouble?
There's been a couple times. I mean, let me say, splits really do help in wrestling.
Okay, fair enough. I could see that. Maybe balance as well?
Yeah.
Besides sanctioned high school wrestling, there's also a lot of other wrestling, even preparing for scholarships, and it's a different type of wrestling, as we've talked about with your coaches. How many of you are talking to colleges or preparing for wrestling in college, perhaps?
Yeah, so I've had a few different offers, and I've been talking to a couple different colleges, just trying to figure out where I want to go. And, yeah, I love the sport, and so I want to continue wrestling in college for like 5 years and then coach and just keep it a part of my life.
Well, congratulations on having scholarship offers. The black eye can't hurt with that.
Yeah, for sure.
We have women's nationals coming up in like a week and a half, so we've just been working hard for that to prepare. They didn't do women's nationals like 2020 because of COVID and everything, so this is going to be really big. And then if you do make it onto the world team, you wrestle all around. Well, not only, like, you wrestle all around the world with Olympians and everything, and then you get to travel and just represent America through freestyle wrestling. So
there are a lot of opportunities, and I don't think everyone would realize that necessarily that's new to girls wrestling, so that's really exciting. What would you say to girls who are thinking about participating, have wondered about doing it now that COVID is not going to be an obstacle next year?
For the wrestling, I've done karate and boxing and theater and a lot of theater. And, okay, I saw this and I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, it looks, when you don't know what it is and you don't understand it, it looks weird. It looks like, why are they wearing tight singlets? Why are they doing that? And you're just like, okay, maybe not. But I think a lot of girls are like, okay, well, they seem really rude. Everybody is so nice. On the mat, we're very mean. But that's because on the mat, we kind of like, we don't see faces. It's competition. You want to win. Because there's only one person coming off that mat winner. Right? And so I think for a lot of girls, like, think about it. Come look at our pictures. Come look at our videos. They're pretty cool. And, like, not just our team, but, like, every other team.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So,
just do it. Like like you were kind of saying earlier, you have this image in your mind of wrestling where it's like spitting and like super buff kids. You don't have to be the super buff kid. You could be the 108 who's as big as a pinky and still take state. You could be a 124 who is really 120 and you somehow manage to not only surpass your goals but everyone's ideas of you. So like you could take a look at me and you go, oh, I could see that she dances, but you wouldn't picture me as like a wrestler.
How many of you girls, when the season was starting and I convinced you guys to come in the door and try and practice one time, how many of you girls were a little bit embarrassed to tell your friends and family that you were wrestlers?
A few of you, yeah. How does it feel now?
Yeah, how many of you girls are still embarrassed about it?
What the heck?
I think she's going to do a few more firemen now.
But I think that shows, you know, kind of that difference and that confidence and that perception and how the sport was at first, even this year being sanctioned, almost looked at as are they really doing this, or yeah, I'm a girl wrestler, right? And now from what they've accomplished, from the family that we've built within this room, everyone's proud of it, and they've accomplished great things. And these girls are very unique. They've worked incredibly hard. They've given their heart and soul to it, as you can see. And through that confidence, and through that attack, and through the efforts that these guys have put in, they've been very, very successful. We won most every tournament we went to. As they get off the bus and walk into the gym, all the other girls take notice. And we've been able to do that with these girls being that family, taking care of one another, and truly caring and loving and helping one another out. And so it is something that they're proud of now, and they're excited about, and they want to represent this sport, and they've absolutely done it in the right way.
I wear my varsity jacket every day to school, and I go to a charter school, which means that's not dress code, and I should not be wearing that. But I wear it every day to school because it's not only just like a confidence boost, like for me, but I love like. There's like big boys that I go to school with, you know, football players, and I look at them and I go, I'll wrestle you. And they're like, I'm a 190. And I go, I'll wrestle you. I'm a 145.
You learn how far skills can get you.
Exactly. And like Coach was saying, attacking is such a big thing. Like I, not only like in wrestling I do that, but like in my entire life now, like I go and get what I want now.
Love that.
Go get what you want.
Go get what you want.
Depending on what you have, you can use it. If you're stronger, you can use your strength. If you're longer, you can use your length. Like, wrestling is literally for everybody, and I think it's such an important skill to have, to know that you don't have to adapt to, like, the social norms, or you don't have to adapt to an ideal body. You just have to use what you have and succeed with it.
Yeah, kind of to go with Brooklyn, wrestling is such an individual sport, and, like, there's a high crotch, but there's a million different ways to do a high crotch because it's depending on your length, your strengths, whatever. However you wrestle, you can turn a simple high crotch into your move and make it your top dog, your exact perfect move for you. And you don't even have to be an athlete to wrestle, because you'll become an athlete, and you'll gain those strengths and those skills.
I love that. So. You don't have to be an athlete, you'll become an athlete. That's great. You guys are super impressive. I can't tell you how excited I am to see your enthusiasm and to see what a positive thing this has been for you. So thanks for letting me spend time with you, and I'm going to keep watching this sport, and I know great things are ahead for you guys. So congratulations. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Supercast. Remember, education is the most important thing you'll do today. We'll see you out there.